Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A shape that is spherical and small. A shade of white the color of bleached bones. A smooth lustrous round structure inside the shell of a clam or oyster, much valued as a jewel. Gather pearls, from oysters in the ocean. A shape that is spherical and small. Beads of sweat on his forehead. A beaded molding for edging or decorating furniture. A small ball with a hole through the middle. Decorate by sewing beads onto. Bead the wedding gown. Form into beads, as of water or sweat, for example. String together like beads. A shape that is spherical and small. He studied the shapes of low-viscosity drops. Remove, cargo, people, etc., from and leave. Drop off the passengers at the hotel. Grow worse. Fall or descend to a lower place or level. A sudden sharp decrease in some quantity. A drop of 57 points on the Dow Jones Index. A free and rapid descent by the force of gravity. It was a miracle that he survived the drop from that height. Let or cause to fall in drops. Stop associating with. They dropped her after she had a child out of wedlock. Pay out. A small indefinite quantity, especially of a liquid. He had a drop too much to drink. Get rid of. Cause to fall by or as if by delivering a blow. Hang freely. The light dropped from the ceiling. A steep high face of rock. A steep drop. Stop pursuing or acting. Drop a lawsuit. Leave undone or leave out. A curtain that can be lowered and raised onto a stage from the flies, often used as background scenery. Lower the pitch of musical notes. A central depository where things can be left or picked up. A predetermined hiding place for the deposit and distribution of illicit goods, such as drugs or stolen property. Change from one level to another. She dropped into army jargon. Fall or sink into a state of exhaustion or death. Shop till you drop. Give birth. Used for animals. The cow dropped her calf this morning. Go down in value. Stock prices dropped. Let fall to the ground. Don't drop the dishes. Lose, a game. The Giants dropped 11 of their first 13. Omit, a letter or syllable, in speaking or writing. New Englanders drop their post-vocalic Rs. Take, a drug, especially LSD, by mouth. She dropped acid when she was a teenager. Terminate an association with. Drop him from the Republican ticket. The act of dropping something. They expected the drop would be successful. To fall vertically. The bombs are dropping on enemy targets. Utter with seeming casualness. Drop a hint. Remove the bones from. Bone the turkey before roasting it. A shade of white the color of bleached bones. study intensively, as before an exam. I had to bone up on my Latin verbs before the final exam. Rigid connective tissue that makes up the skeleton of vertebrates. The porous calcified substance from which bones are made. Consisting of or made up of bone. A shade of white, the color of bleached bones. A hard, smooth ivory-colored dentine that makes up most of the tusks of elephants and walruses. A shade of white, the color of bleached bones. Of something having a color tending toward white. The apparent surface of the imaginary sphere on which celestial bodies appear to be projected. A particular aspect of life or activity. A particular environment or walk of life. His social sphere is limited. The geographical area in which one nation is very influential. Any spherically shaped artifact. A solid figure bounded by a spherical surface, including the space it encloses. A three-dimensional closed surface such that every point on the surface is equidistant from the center. The quality or state of the achromatic color of greatest lightness, bearing the least resemblance to black. The state of being unsullied by sin or moral wrong, lacking a knowledge of evil. Lightness or fairness of complexion. Only the whiteness of her cheeks gave any indication of the stress from which she was suffering. A Caucasian. United States writer noted for his humorous essays, 1899 to 1985. United States architect, 1853 to 1906. A tributary of the Mississippi River that flows southeastward through northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. Usually in the plural, trousers made of flannel or gabardine or tweed or white cloth. Anemic, looking from illness or emotion. Lips white with terror. Restricted to whites only. Under segregation there were even white restrooms and white drinking fountains. Marked by the presence of snow. A white Christmas. The white part of an egg. The nutritive and protective gelatinous substance surrounding the yolk, consisting mainly of albumin dissolved in water. She separated the whites from the yolks of several eggs. United States educator who in 1865, with Ezra Cornell, founded Cornell University and served as its first president, 1832 to 1918. Turn white. This detergent will whiten your laundry. Of a surface, not written or printed on. Wide white margins. Australian writer, 1912 to 1990. Glowing white with heat. White flames. The quality or state of the achromatic color of greatest lightness, bearing the least resemblance to black. United States jurist appointed Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court in 1910 by President Taft. Noted for his work on antitrust legislation, 1845 to 1921. United States political journalist, 1915 to 1986. Of hair, having lost its color. The white hairs of old age. Being of the achromatic color of maximum lightness, having little or no hue owing to reflection of almost all incident light. As white as fresh snow. Benevolent, without malicious intent. That's white of you. Board games, the lighter pieces. Free from moral blemish or impurity, unsullied. In shining white armor. Of coffee, having cream or milk added. Of or belonging to a racial group having light skin coloration. Voting patterns within the white population. Of summer nights in northern latitudes where the sun barely sets. White nights. A precious or semi-precious stone incorporated into a piece of jewelry. A person who is as brilliant and precious as a piece of jewelry. A crystalline rock that can be cut and polished for jewelry. He had the gem set in a ring for his wife. Art highly prized for its beauty or perfection. A sweet quick bread baked in a cup-shaped pan. A precious or semi-precious stone incorporated into a piece of jewelry. A precious or semi-precious stone incorporated into a piece of jewelry. A person who is as brilliant and precious as a piece of jewelry. Adorn or decorate with precious stones. Jeweled dresses. Call for and obtain payment of. We collected over $1 million in outstanding debts. Assemble or get together. Get or gather together. Payable by the recipient on delivery. A collect call. Gather or collect. Get or bring together. A short prayer generally preceding the lesson in the Church of Rome or the Church of England. Assemble or get together. Acquire or deserve by one's efforts or actions. A storehouse for threshed grain or animal feed. Store grain. The act of gathering something. Collect in one place. Let's gather in the dining room. Assemble or get together. Gather some stones. Increase or develop. The car gathers speed. Get people together. Gather the close family members. Sewing consisting of small folds or puckers made by pulling tight a thread in a line of stitching. Draw together into folds or puckers. Collect or gather. Conclude from evidence. I gather you have not done your homework. Draw and bring closer. She gathered her shawl around her shoulders. Look for food in nature. Our ancestors gathered nuts in the fall. Assemble or get together. A drop of dew. A drop of the clear salty saline solution secreted by the lacrimal glands. Anything shaped like a falling drop, as a pendant gem on an earring. A small imperfect pearl.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.